Members Taylor and Bill Stoner are absent this evening. Our first order of business is the Pledge of Allegiance. Flag of the United States of America and the Republic for which it stands, one nation. All right. Again, I want to welcome everyone tonight. We provide the opportunity for public comment both at the beginning and the end of our meeting. For our visitors this evening, I would encourage you to, and I think you've done it before, is to wait to the end, because I think you have some questions that we do have some expertise tonight here that will provide some comment afterwards. And again, if there are any specific questions, we can talk or meet after the meeting with you related to them. Our first order of business for this evening will be approval of our minutes from March 4th. I'm assuming we've read those. Any comments? Oh. And Aaron, you get to make lots of motions and seconds this evening. Ready for a motion?
I move to approve the minutes from March 4th, 2026 meeting.
Second.
I don't believe we'll have any further discussion. We'll call for a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. All those opposed? The minutes are approved. Our next line item, the request for a new line foreman position, David Bailey. Good evening.
Hello. I'm David Bailey. I'm the acting electric operations manager, and I'm here today to get approval to add another line foreman position. We currently have 2 crews. Each crew consists of 6 employees, a line foreman, 2 journeymen, and 3 apprentices. By creating this new position, we are giving the current journeyman opportunity to take a leadership role and the apprentices to work more on a one-on-one environment with the journeyman and the foreman. It's pretty simple in this one.
We'll not be adding any employees with this motion. We'll just be, in essence, advancing one of our employees, right?
That's correct.
We just going from 2 crews to 3.
Correct.
Jeff, I thank you for coming tonight. I'm assuming you like this idea. Yeah. All right. All right. No other questions? Motion to approve?
I move to approve the additional line foreman position.
Second.
Any other questions or discussion? All right. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? Motion carries. Gee, David, why don't you just stay right there? Okay, Inslee Garden Section 2
today.
underground installation. Yeah. They've been going pretty heavy with the construction out there. So
they are. As many of you know, like Angeli Garden Section 2 is kicking off. They're doing curbs and roads. So we would like to get our electric infrastructure in place before anyone else. That way we can tell them they can't go there. So today I'm here to ask the board to approve the proposal from Pink Lady Power to install the conduit and the equipment for Angeli Garden Section 2. This would include the engineering, equipment, and labor. So we sent out 2 contracts. We sent out 2 bids, Pink Lady and Barriott. Pink Lady came back cheaper at $87,442. So today I'm asking the board to approve the not to exceed amount of $87,442 for the installation of the underground electric by Pink Lady, and to have General Manager Ed Basquill sign for all the documents.
See, David, I really couldn't tell, just looking at the invoice, that labor was covered by Pink Lady, but it was. Is that correct?
It was, yes.
Their quote did include the labor.
Yeah.
Okay.
So for a while now, Barriott's been doing a lot of our underground work. I've not really heard of Pink Lady. Have we worked with them before?
I believe they've done one other project. ISC recommended them, and they said that they've done several of their projects. They're a smaller company. They're a startup. They're actually started up by 2 individuals, I think women, actually, Pink Lady. And then they started it, and now they have several employees. They do mostly central Indiana, but I think they're expanding as they're going. So
ISC being Phil?
yes.
Okay, good.
We actually sent out 3, but we only got 2 back. So Barrett's quote came in very high. I don't know if you saw that. That's one of the reasons why.
Yeah,
And I think it's
exceptionally.
mostly because they're busy. I just think that they're bidding high because they just don't have the manpower to.
Other questions? Could I hear a motion?
I move to approve Pink Lady Power to electric equipment for Angeli Gardens, Section 2, for the not to exceed amount of $87,442, and to have General Manager Ed Baskell sign all documents.
Second.
Other questions or discussion? One question for Sandra, are we in our new policies yet with electric installation, or is Angeli Garden still under the old code where this is upon us for payment?
At this,
We will seek reimbursement from
Okay.
them. Yeah,
Yeah, this one's not grandfathered.
Okay,
correct.
correct.
all right, all good. All right, we've had a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Those opposed? That motion will carry. There's 2 more.
I know.
For
I'm just
you,
staying
David.
up here
All right.
today.
All right, relocation of transmission lines. We will have a little bit of conversation on this, but this is related to project out north into town. David, go ahead.
So yeah, this one, we've had a lot of internal conversations about, so I'll try to do my best to explain it so we can mitigate some of them. 300 North has our transmission line on it, and basically they're widening the road to 4 lanes. We have a development starting on the north side and one on the south side of the road that is it's going to have access from 300. So this project has to get started pretty soon. Also, it is, since it's transmission lines, it's very unique items, and so they have to be ordered way in advance. No, that's why we need the engineering to start, just so we can get some of those products on, get the prices of them, and then get the company to pay for them so we can get them ordered. So today I'm requesting the board to approve the engineering services to relocate the transmission line and the poles along County Road 300 in the amount not to exceed $56,500. This would just be for the engineering, and the engineering would be done by ISC.
The lines are currently on the south and we're moving north, or vice versa?
They're on the north and we are moving them farther.
We're moving them further north?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
When this project was considered in the Finance Committee, when the 2026 budget was developed, it was originally scheduled to be paid for by ratepayers through our reserves. And because we didn't really understand exactly the nature of the project at that time, now we do understand the nature of the project, that it's for the benefit of a developer, and therefore the payment identification in the budget can be changed from Code 2 reserves to Code 4 other. The other, in this case, being the developer, will pay for the entire cost of the project, including the engineering fees, once a final invoice is submitted to the developer. And we are not going to proceed until the developer pays that invoice in full. Is all that correct?
All of it, that's correct.
Thank
We will submit all of that to them, and we will not order any parts until we receive a check back.
What's the anticipation of the length of time for the engineering?
Once the engineering has started, which they've already started the basic work, they'll bid it out. They'll manage the project. So this $56,000, once we approve it, it will be spent right away. And then the project is supposed to start next month. So hopefully within the next 2 months, we'll already see crews out there working on it.
Okay, good. Thank you. Other questions?
And the crews won't be our crews. It'll be a subcontractor or contractor, right?
Correct. All of our highline poles, we don't have the specialized equipment to do the amount of work that's required, so we subcontract that out.
Agreed. Other questions, comments, motion? Well, let me step back here. We'll have two motions here, one to approve the engineering fees and one to move the budget or to change the budget line entry.
I move to approve IMPA's engineering fees in the relocation of the transmission line on County Road 300 North in the amount not to exceed $56,500 and have the general manager, Ed Basquill, sign all documents.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Any other comments, questions?
I'll just comment that I shared some of the concerns that Aaron raised prior to the meeting about how this invoice and all of the project was going to be paid. And so understanding that it is going to be paid by the developer, I'll support it.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? That motion carries. Second motion?
I move to approve a change in the 2026 budget to move line relocation from Code 2, paid for by reserves, to Code 4, paid for by other.
Second.
Questions? Any other comments? Made and approved. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Are those opposed? It carries. Okay, David, last one.
Last one.
Surplus.
About 3 years ago, we had a 2014 Ford Escape that was in service, and the motor had some issues. We got some quotes to fix it. It was actually more expensive to fix the car than it was just to buy a new one. So my predecessor purchased a vehicle and used the same number, number 31. As a vehicle number. So today I'm asking the board's permission to dispose of the vehicle in accordance to Indiana Code 5-22-22, as the vehicle's value is less than $5,000.
We do with it? We send it to a dealer for auction, or how we do it?
So I've contacted a few companies and I was getting prices of about $700 for the vehicle to have it towed off. It will run for only about 30 seconds and then it shuts off. So it's enough to get it on a trailer or something and then out. But other than that, yeah, we just have to get rid of it. And the only reason why this came up, I didn't even know we had this vehicle still. I thought it was gone, but it was sitting at wastewater. And as you know, wastewater is under a lot of construction now. So they want this vehicle out of their way so they can start working.
All right, thank you. Other questions, comments? Motion?
I move to approve declaring the 2014 Ford Escape, formerly vehicle number 31, as surplus, and to dispose of the vehicle in accordance with IC 52222.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Any other questions or comments? Okay, Sarah to the 2014 Ford Escape. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, David.
Thank you.
All 4 times. Next up, we're talking about telemetry for our lift stations. Corey, I hope that Ryan and Spencer are buying you at least lunch.
It's okay.
Having to do that.
So Corey Rowland, wastewater collections operator. I am recommending that we replace/upgrade the current telemetry system at every lift station that is maintained by Lebanon Utilities wastewater collections department. The telemetry system at the station serves the purpose of monitoring the overall health and functions of the pumps at every lift station, as well as the purpose of sending out alarms and notifications to the department in case of an emergency or failure at a lift station, i.e. example, high wet well level or power failure. Over the last few years, we have been experiencing an increased number of problems with the current telemetry system OmniSite. These problems are not limited, or these problems include but not limited to a degrade in customer service, the telemetry system losing a connection to cellular towers, and a degrade of hardware product. Finally, OmniSite software cannot keep up with the current competitor's software as it cannot give you live data. They can only do 15-minute increments. So I request the approval to purchase the telemetry system from BBC Pump and Equipment for an amount not to exceed $67,158.75. And I will take any and all questions now.
So if I understand correctly, if the system operates properly and a lift station shuts down for one of those reasons you stated, that a message is automatically sent to one of our collection systems phones that's on duty to take care of it. Is that the way it works, or can you
Yes,
explain
correct.
it better?
So right now, OmniSite uses AT&T towers. As long as they're connected to the towers, they will send out a message, whether it be power failure or high wet well level or anything that's wrong with the pump. But again, we have experienced over time that they may lose connection, so you may not even get an emergency. I've had it where it would go down for 5 days, and they said there's nothing they can do about it. So we're going to move to a different system that has dual SIM, so that way they can switch from AT&T towers or Verizon in case a signal's lost.
It'll be immediate. They won't be 15-minute delay.
It's live data, so it's as fast as your current web browser can update. It'll update as fast as what your web browser can update and refresh.
We change out all of the lift stations.
Yes, we'll be changing out all the lift stations, correct? Any other questions?
Will our folks be doing the change out, or will the people we're buying it from?
So we will be responsible for everyone besides 3 of them. The 3 that we will not be responsible for are Northside, because it has a PLC, and that's it'll be wired differently. Reese Park, that also has a PLC. So again, that goes with the wiring differential. And then at Shaker Square, because we'll be going with a control system there. So that way you can control the pumps remotely through an app. But every other one that just specifically for monitoring purposes, our department will be responsible for installing.
Thank you.
Installation, I'm assuming, is part of the quote.
Yes.
All right, great. Questions, comments? Motion?
I'll move to approve the purchase of the telemetry system for BBC Pump and Equipment for the amount not to exceed $67,158.75.
Second?
Motion and a second. Any other questions? I guess I do. Corey, what's the timing on this? Is this something they would have in stock that'll be a couple weeks, or is this?
It'd be
are
a
we gonna
couple
have-
weeks lead time because the parts have to come from North Carolina.
Okay.
So it'd be probably 3 to 6 weeks
Okay.
approximately.
Okay.
But as long as they get in, we'll be able to install them next day.
Okay. Other questions or comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? That motion carries. It says Tropical Smoothie Cafe Reassessment Agreement, Jeff Jacob or Tony Rodolfo. That doesn't work either. All right, go on, Jake.
Thank you, Mr. Hudson. Board, next item on our agenda is the Tropical Smoothie Cafe Reassessment Agreement. This is the same agreement that you've seen on several other occasions in the past month and the past year, which makes water and wastewater available for a qualified project, and that's immediately available. It's my understanding that utility staff have reviewed the capacity request for the Tropical Smoothie project, and it is available. I'm happy to answer any questions that I can today. If there are more specific questions about the agreement that are more specific to Mr. Jacob, I'll go ahead and write those down and ask him those questions. Thank you.
On and off the agenda here a little bit lately, so I have no.
I have no questions. We've been routinely approving these agreements. And
Correct. I
think-
believe there's been 10 to 12 that have been previously approved.
All right, Ian?
And
Your motion?
I move to approve the Tropical Smoothie Cafe Reassessment Agreement.
Second?
Had a motion and a second. Any further outstanding questions? Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? Motion carries. All right, Bobby, you should be getting your lunch too. All right. Bobby gets to buy a new truck. Corey got electronics. Bobby gets a truck.
This is a request to purchase a 2026 F-150 for the water treatment plant. This vehicle will be primarily used for testing and transportation of running bacteria samples. This is part of the Water Utility 2026 Budget Capital Addition, item line 13. And we got 3 bids, and I'm requesting the approval of the purchase of the 2026 F-150 from D. Patrick Ford for the amount not to exceed $43,651.
Does that amount include the trade-in value?
We're looking to keep the other truck for when we bring people on, but we would use it as a service truck, the one that we're currently using, and the new one would just have all of our testing equipment in it.
So we're adding a truck to the fleet. Was that the way it was originally presented in the budget? Do you know that, Sandra? I don't recall.
I don't know specific, but I do know in the budget, it said it replaces number 15, but also $75,000 was budgeted at that time.
It did say replaces, didn't it?
It did say replaces.
So we're changing that by not trading it in. Am I understanding correctly?
Yeah, we'd like to keep the existing truck that we have to use for a service truck.
Hey, explain this a little bit more detail, please. What would the new truck be used for, and why we want to keep the old truck?
The old truck we want to use for a service truck.
What does that mean?
Keep all of our tools and stuff on there for in case we got to work on a well or anything like that. The new truck, we want to put all of our testing equipment for doing field testing and doing chlorine testing out in the field on the new lines that are put in, and going and grabbing bacteria samples. Because the 3 trucks we have now, they're heavier trucks, which don't get very good gas mileage. So that's why we're requesting for the 1/2-ton truck.
Sandra, would we have to also include a motion here then to change the budget item since it's not a replace?
So that would be, is it still going to be vehicle number 15?
We would add another number.
Okay, since they're not trading numbers yet, I would probably go ahead and approve a new vehicle with the new number and keeping vehicle number 15, and then I can make it.
This is the wastewater budget, right?
No,
Water.
Water budget?
And like I said, $75,000, so it came in significantly cheaper. And it sounds like they just want to, instead of trading it in, use that vehicle for other purposes.
Yeah, understand
This
the
is replace
logic.
number 15.
we're currently making several trips to Brownsburg and Indy.
Yeah, so maybe the way to say this is I move to approve the purchase of a new 2026 Ford F-150.
Thanks, Spencer, for this.
You thank Spencer for lots of things, Bobby. And then we would assign it a number, correct, Sandra?
Yeah, I was trying to how to word it. Replace budget item number 13, instead of replacing the vehicle, it would be purchasing this vehicle, and we would keep vehicle number 15.
What was the number on the budget item?
Line item number 13.
I'm ready to give it a stab if, motion if we're through questioning.
Yeah, I think we are. Let's call for a motion.
I move to approve the purchase of the 2026 Ford F-150 from D. Patrick Ford for the amount not to exceed $43,651, and change the 2026 water utility budget item capital addition number 13 from replacement of vehicle number 15 to acquiring a new vehicle with a number to be assigned.
Second.
Close enough, Danny, to be able to copy that? Okay. Other questions? All right. In a second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We have a new truck. Thank you, Bobby.
Thank you.
All right, last item on the agenda, approval of claims payroll transfers dated to March 4th. Wait a minute, March 18th, excuse me. I need. Yep. Questions?
I move to approve the claims, payroll, and transfers dated March 18th, 2026 in the amount of $1,793,538.17 for claims and payroll and $14,909,113.14 for transfers.
Second.
Had a motion and a second. Any other questions? If not, favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? That motion is approved. Claims, payroll, and transfer, excuse me. Any other business come before the board? Ed?
I just got one thing. I just want to thank Corey and Bobby for coming to present. They don't often get to stand up in front of an audience like that. It was a good experience for them. We like to see our guys get out there, and they did a good job, and thank you.
Thank you. Bosses still owe you. Yeah. All right, no other business? All right, back to public opportunity for public comment. If you haven't so far, please sign in. We ask that you keep comments to a couple minutes, please. And do want to emphasize that this is public comment. At the end of this, we will ask Bob Holden, our expert from Wexler, to come and address any concerns that you may have through his comments. And then after the meeting, as we've done the last couple, if you want to stick around a little bit and you have specific questions, we'll try to answer those for you. All right, please, your name to start with, please.
Hello, my name is Eric Radez, R-A-D-E-Z. I live at 7750 Lafayette Road, Indianapolis, Indiana, 46278. Ladies and gentlemen of the board, I'd like to thank you for the opportunity to speak with you again today. I'd like to start just by saying I haven't always been a social media user, but since this LEAP project became public, I've been an avid social media poster, right? I've been posting all of what my interpretation is of the many risks that are associated with this project. And believe it or not, out of all those posts, and I've got friends that are Republican, Democrat, Libertarians, Independents. I know everybody. I have not had a single person on all the posts I've made disagree with me or any of the facts that I presented to them. Doesn't that blow your minds? I mean, everyone never agrees on the same thing these days. It just doesn't happen. But apparently that is not the case when it comes to the LEAP project. So I'd like to move on. At your last meeting, I recommended to the board a different location for your proposed wastewater discharge instead of the Eagle Creek Reservoir. That discharge location that I recommended was the Dig Indy sewer system. I still feel it's a great option. And it would also, as I said before, remove the need for Lebanon to perform the massive multi-million-dollar build-out that you're doing on your existing water treatment plant, as the Citizen Southport Advanced Wastewater Treatment Plant handles all of the treatment of all of the sewage that goes into the Dig Indy system. But since you guys have chosen to move on and to instead to add to your existing water treatment plant, that's okay. I'd like to present another option to you guys with that given. Simply place the wastewater discharge pipe downstream of the Eagle Creek Dam, below the dam. This would completely bypass the Eagle Creek Reservoir. This would also return the water to the White River watershed, but with the benefit of not dumping 76,000 pounds of phosphorus per year into the Eagle Creek Reservoir. One thing I'd like to say before I'm done, and again, thank you for the opportunity to speak today. Appreciate it very much. I don't want to discuss details relating to the electrical power grid because apparently that is not the board's responsibility. But I've heard you guys talk about electricity today, so I'm a little confused, but I want to talk about it anyway for just a little bit. As you know, Meta plans on using a bunch of giant diesel-powered generators to supplement their vast power needs. And these generators are going to present their own set of problems for the citizens of Lebanon. But, you know, as diesel gets more expensive, it's over $5 a gallon, and given the current lack of transmission capacity within the power grid itself, Meta, like several of their peers across the United States, may choose to install, like many others have had, a modular nuclear reactor to supplement their power needs. This has been done in other data centers across the country, board. I don't think the residents of Lebanon want to risk having a nuclear reactor in their backyard. I'll leave it at that. Thank you very much.
Others? Welcome. I like your sweatshirt, by the way. I like your sweatshirt, by the way.
My name's Kevin Prather, 4546 West, 650 North, live up by Thorntown. Been there about 30 years. My concern is water. Water, filling a horse tank in my front yard, or front pasture rather. 90 seconds, no water. It's a new well. I think it's 183 feet deep. The old well, when we put this in, the static level is 43 feet. The pump in this new well is 123 feet, 90 seconds, and no water. It's about 10-minute recovery time. Last summer, another 90 seconds. Since that time, the problem didn't go away. It got better in the fall. It'd cavitate, but it wouldn't stop flowing. Water flowed, slowed down quite a bit. We're one of the nearest houses to the well field. Of course, old well, I was told we bought the place that it was drilled deeper as well as all the other area wells. Apparently not deep enough, but the old pump was 69 feet. And again, this new pump is set at 123 feet, 183 foot well, flowing at 40 gallon a minute. Of course, I'm not getting that kind of flow just out of the hydrant there at the wellhead. It's got a lot of flow. But my concern is what are we doing about the water level, or what studies are we doing? Is there a bathymetric study being done? Looking at my wife's got an old Boone County history book. References the pioneers being referred to as mossbacks because it's such a swamp here. And I went to a prior meeting, Lebanon Utilities, and they were talking 60 by 60 by 60 lift station, and they dug all the way down, and they were surprised there's no water going all the way down. What am I to expect for the future? I know you're bringing water in from the south, but what demands are going to be put on that well field? as any.
Where did you say you live, sir?
45, 46 west, 650 north.
650 north.
Yeah.
Is that north or south of 47?
North, yeah. I'm just across the field from the Lebanon wells.
Of-
Of course, when I
Okay.
bought the place, I was told by neighbors and other farmers that Lebanon.
You're near the Sugar Creek Water Plant.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Around the curves on the other side of the cemetery.
See, I interrupted you. Go ahead and finish what you were, I apologize.
Yeah, I'm just, would like to get an understanding what this division demand is the demand going to go down off the Sugar Creek aquifer, or is it going to increase with all this growth? And what financial tools have been put in place to get people water? I'm aware of the state law that water has to, whoever runs the wells dry, they're responsible for getting water to the people. But companies go bankrupt. Are there any financial reserves being put in place for this to make people whole?
So Kevin,
Yeah.
we appreciate your public comment. I don't think any of us here are qualified to answer your question. What we will do is take the question away and have someone get back to you.
I'd like to make a comment. Wells in Boone County are administered by the health department. And part of their responsibility is when development occurs, like the development and changes in the water department in Thorntown are being considered, is whether or not those changes will impact well capacity. So I urge you to take your concerns to the Boone County Health Department, because there's little that I can think of right now that we as 11 utilities can do. Ed, do you have anything to add to that?
As Tim Hudson had said, we have some of our staff that do regular tests on our wells. We have a wellhead protection plan to make sure we do not influence people within a certain radius of us. And as far as water, we're getting water from Citizens Energy. We haven't really seen a significant uptick on our well usage at Sugar Creek, so it's a little surprising. So what we'll do is we've got your name and address. We'll take down your information and we'll have somebody get back to you as far as what our data says, because we definitely want to we don't think we're affecting anyone. We will make sure that we're not. So, but as Aaron Smith said, the Department of Natural Resources, they manage all of the well permits. We don't manage those, and we can, but we'll definitely be willing to help you. That's just good information to have. It's not something we can answer here tonight. So.
I guess I'm a little surprised other people haven't had problems, but we don't have problems in the house. It's that amount of demand. It's probably flowing 20-some gallon a minute, but that quickly. I recently checked it. It's up to a little over 2 minutes before the pump starts cavitating now. So the static water level obviously has increased over last summer. Anyway, thank you.
All right. Anyone else?
Hello, Dawn Gleason, 6330 Central Avenue, Indianapolis, Indiana, 46220. Again, thank you for letting us speak at your meeting. I just want to confirm they have the right source for this. It's the Eagle Creek Reservoir Potential Impacts / Issues for Lebanon Effluent Discharge. Is this your document that was done by Brandon Colts of Colts Water? No? Yeah, I'm sorry, who's doing your studies on the water quality?
Western Engineering is doing an anti-degradation study, and there's no construction due to start until 2028.
Okay.
And the study's underway and not due to be finished for probably at least a month. So
Okay.
I don't know, I've never heard of Colts. Is
Okay.
that what you said?
Who is the firm that's doing the actual anti-degradation study?
Wessler Engineering.
Okay, and they've started that, is that correct?
Don, you will hear, once everyone from the public has commented, Bob's going to come up and with comments and try to incorporate some of the questions that you have.
Okay, awesome. I just want to appreciate the work that you were doing by listening to all the questions that people are asking. I'm going to ask again about if there's an opportunity for a closed loop to possibly be done in Lebanon instead of that water going all the way down to Indianapolis. I am very interested in people who have brought up the option of having the water go into the Big Dig Indy tunnel. I'm familiar with that because I live in Indianapolis and because I've talked to a couple of people from Citizens Energy when they were digging that, and it was cool. But I'm just wondering if there's still an option for that. And then I'm also wondering, I don't know what costs to build a water filtration plant. Is it like a 2 million, 5 million, 10 million? I'm just curious. Is it possible?
Define the size.
The one for Lebanon.
Yeah.
The one for Lebanon.
So it can be many different things based upon the size of the plant that you have.
Okay.
So
And do
like
you,
Citizens is a much larger company than we are, a much larger utility. They would have
Okay.
much larger and much more expensive plants.
okay. So I guess I'm still trying to wrap my brain around why the water is coming back to Citizens. I know Citizens wants the water. I assume that there's some money with the water coming back and then sending you more water. But logically, it seems to me like if I'm going to go to the grocery store, I'm not going to go to the grocery store, buy stuff, bring it home, and then take stuff back to the grocery. I'm not going to keep going back and forth. It's like the spaghetti effect of where that water is going. And I'm like, why is the water not just staying in Lebanon? Why is there, I know there's a filtration plant. I think it's awesome that you guys are upgrading your filtration plant, and I wish that Citizens would do that more often, I think, where I live. But I am trying to figure out, like, what is the benefit of that water coming all the way down to Indianapolis and then being shipped back up to Lebanon and then coming back and forth? It just keeps, it's a spaghetti. Like if I had a manufacturing plant, I would not want someone to be walking that much back and forth in their production flow and process. I would really try and keep my materials, my resources more locally. And so I'm trying to figure that out. And I think that you guys have something coming up where people can come in and talk and get some of those answers. I'm just trying to get a better understanding of why the push to have that water going from, back and forth. If you were to map that on a manufacturing process flow, you would be like, that's really weird. We're going to cut out that movement. It's part of the Lean Six Sigma waste. We want to reduce waste, and that water moving back and forth seems like waste to me. So hopefully I can get more answers on that as I listen and learn. So I do appreciate your time. The only other thing I'll say is there a risk assessment that has been completed yet for any of this project? Like, this is the possible risk, this is the possibility of it happening, and if that happens, our score is X. Is there anything like that has been put together yet?
Again, we're in the public comment portion of this.
Okay, thank you.
Answers, that's a pretty broad question. Risk assessment means many, many different things to many, many different people. So we're going to have to take that one offline a bit and then maybe have more discussion with you, Don, to say, okay, let's get a little more definition of what you think risk assessment is relative to what we see it as, or what requirements are based upon state laws, applications for permits, those types of things.
Okay, I was just curious, has there one been done yet for Lebanon and for Indianapolis for like the water coming back to us, or is that part of the anti-degradation study?
I think we're going to have to hold on that and get back to you.
Okay, that's
All right.
fine. I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Sorry, I'd just like to have a follow-up comment based on what she just brought up, which is an interesting thing. Again, this is Eric Rudez. I just now learned that Wessler is doing the anti-degradation study on Eagle Creek Reservoir. So, I know Wessler, right in front of my house, they're putting up markers. I live right by the Eagle Creek Reservoir, about 1,800 feet to my front door. So I see those trucks out there a lot, and I know that Westler is going to be contracted to at least run your wastewater pipe south to the reservoir. I guess my issue with the situation is that Westler is doing an anti-degradation study, and based on that study, there's going to be either positive or negative outcomes that they're going to recommend from them putting wastewater into the reservoir. So they're also going to be making money, though, from...
Eric, can I help you out here?
Yes, sir.
Wexler is an engineering design firm.
Okay.
They will be no part of our construction. I don't want to say no part. They do the engineering design, but they do not construct anything.
Very well. Very well.
So would appreciate, I mean, let's keep moving here, but we're mixing and matching many different things here. We're mixing anti-degradation with engineering design with construction. Those are three really distinct separate things. And again, Bob's here from Wexler tonight. I think he can help with that.
Fantastic.
Once we're done with all of public comment.
Okay. I would just like to say that it seems to be a conflict of interest to have them doing an anti-degradation study and also making money from engineering the project. Thank you very much.
Anyone else? All right. If not, motion to close. Our next board meeting will be Wednesday, April 8th, here in this building at 5
Is
p.m.
Bob going to make any comments?
Oh, I'm sorry, Bob. Yeah, I should do that. We said public comment, then Bob will come up. Thank you, Mr. Holden.
I'm not sure what all you want me to comment on. There have been quite a variety of different topics broached
Yeah,
in
we've
public
covered a
comment.
bunch.
So I can just touch on just a few of the broader points. I'm quite familiar with the Dig-Indy system. The Dig-Indy system, its entire purpose is to collect and convey combined sewer overflow within the city of Indianapolis. Its sole purpose is to prevent combined sewer overflows into the waterways of Indianapolis. And so the addition of new water, unforeseen water, would effectively result in additional raw wastewater being discharged into the waterways of the city. So I'm quite sure that no one is really interested in that. With respect to the electrical grid, I have not heard anything of modular nuclear reactors. There are going to be quite a few diesel gen sets at Meta, from what I understand, but we really haven't had any experience with that. With respect to the anti-degradation study, we are preparing the anti-degradation study for this discharge, and it is not a conflict of interest. As I've explained publicly in a variety of different venues in front of most of the folks here, it is part of a permitting process, okay? And it is something that is done to demonstrate, or what we propose to discharge would demonstrate impacts or non-impacts on a water body. That report is effectively reviewed and approved or not approved by IDEM. So we are not the approval body of that. We are presenting facts to IDEM, okay? And they are the ones that review that. You are correct, Tim.
And they review it and vet your facts, right?
That is correct. With respect, you are correct. We are an engineering design firm. We do not do construction. So that is incorrect. With respect to why does CEG want the water back? It's effectively to try to create the water balance, between the watersheds. And that is to maintain that the volumetric flow within those watersheds. And I would also like to note that Meta is proposing, they use a variety of different cooling cycles within their facility. They do use a closed loop cooling cycle within a portion of their facility, but they cannot do a closed loop cooling cycle within their entire facility, from what I understand. So with that, I'd be happy to stick around afterwards and answer additional questions.
To add on that closed loop comment, at full build out, they're expected to use 8 million gallons a day peak, 4 million gallons a day average, and their wastewater discharges will be half of both those numbers. So they'll have a closed loop system, but it won't eliminate all wastewater discharges.
That is correct. It's a combined system, Aaron. They have a portion closed loop and a portion evaporative system, and they do recycle within the evaporative system up to 3 times. And that's where you see the volumetric reduction, okay, for the half.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, Bob, just a couple quick things. I was asked before the meeting about our construction schedule, and I just wanted to reiterate and let you add your own to this, that we don't have a construction schedule yet for this line.
That is correct. We do not have a construction schedule
There's
yet for
approvals that
this
need to
line.
be done. I saw some things on social media where somebody found some Wessler markers from 2 years ago and think that you're constructing something when you're not.
That is correct. The markers that were placed are control points. And so those are effectively XYZ points that locate for a survey to be done. So we have surveyed the area, okay, for preliminary routing. There is not a route that has been chosen at this point in time and has been described at the permitting process. The way it goes is that the anti-deg has to be submitted and approved before we can draw a construction permit for this line. And so until that is done, there can't be construction. So the earliest that we would be in construction would potentially be 2028.
It's also accurate, isn't it, that the treated water delivery point at the Eagle Creek Reservoir, that has not been decided as the final delivery point, that other delivery points are being considered.
That is correct.
And the reservoir delivery point has not been finally selected as the delivery point. Is that right?
That is correct.
Yeah, and also risk assessment was mentioned. To my memory, that's part of the preliminary engineering report, which we have posted on our website. And there's a summary of that and an FAQ. And I think in the presentation you gave here and at various places, you have the timeline for how things work, where we don't have a construction schedule yet and where we are in the approval process with the anti-deg. So that's correct, right?
That is correct.
And April 9th, we have the next office hours with what my full water and wastewater staff isn't here, but we have open office hours from 2:30 to 4:30 on April 9th up in the room next door there. And I can also touch on, as far as electric is concerned, there are service territories, and it is not our electric service territory. So we can't really speak to that. That would be Boone Power as far as what their power usage is. We just serve them for water and wastewater.
Yeah, LEAP is not in our electric territory.
Not to confuse you guys anymore, but there are 2 electric providers in this town. We do not provide any power or minimal power right now to anything in the LEAP district. That is actually Boone Power, which is the county supplier of power. So when you come to what Meta's needs are, what, transmission lines, anything like that, that's a Boone Power question, because they have to figure out how to get the power here for the usage for LEAP. Thank you, Bob.
Yeah, thanks, Bob.
Couple things just to reemphasize. One is we're talking an awful lot about the return loop and the watershed balance and all of that. I just want everyone to know and understand that was a request to us from CEG. We are designing based upon a request that Citizens Energy made to us relative to that. That's why we've asked Bob and Wexler to go through these design sequences. That's why they're doing anti-degradation. That's why they are leading our permitting process according to the laws of the nation and of the state. All right. We want to continue to have this dialogue and this discussion because it's important for all of us in what we're doing. And the second thing that I have is, remember, we want to, again, listen to you and be very sensitive to this, but at a very minimum, the first time we're going to let a construction contract to do anything related to wastewater return, be it to Eagle Creek or someplace else, is not until about 2 years from now. We're not into engineering design much at all. We're in a very, very conceptual stage. So we're at least 2 years away from having any sort of contractor say, what would it take to deliver a pipeline from Lebanon to Eagle Creek, to another creek, to somewhere else? We're quite a ways off. So please keep coming. Let's continue the debate and continue what we're doing. But we are not in a time crunch for anything here. That's why we can, I hope, continue to have great debate. Thank you.
Well said. Thanks.
Motion, please.
Next meeting is when?
Next meeting will be Wednesday, April 8th at 5 p.m. in this chamber. Ian?
I move to adjourn.
Second?
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Ooh, there, we're adjourned.